All right, we are back here for another edition of Pro Talk Plus, the Winner's Edge, with the Rad Man and the Mighty over here on Stage Plus Network. Can you believe we are now into week 15 of the NFL season, Rad Man?
Yeah, this is unbelievable that we're into this week 15 and the money's coming in like crazy. Almost as quick, sad to say, as COVID is coming in, people winning money as it's coming in. And now we're getting into the final 4 weeks of the season, and COVID looked like it's going to play a major factor in these last 4 weeks. So buyers beware as we get into these next 4 weeks. But if you were with us last week, I told you take the New Orleans Saints. That was my pick of the week. The Saints would cover over the Jets. My second pick that I said was a pick'em game, San Francisco, Cincinnati, take San Fran. San Fran had to go to overtime. I had to sweat that one out. I even got up from my seat and went to the lounge seat to see the 49ers come down the field on that winning drive in Raymond James Stadium's press box there. I had a chance to get in there and see on the big screen. And by the over, they had a lot of big screens in that press box, didn't they, in that press lounge?
Very impressive press box. They did an excellent job. Good food, too. They took care of us.
Oh, man, the best of the season. Oh, man, I'm still on that salmon and broccoli and tomatoes and sauteed with the salad and the noodles. Oh, man, they were off the chain. Our hats go off to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers catering service and the people that work up there. Very friendly people, very nice. Gave you good directions of where your seat was located, the whole 9 yards, and they had all kinds of service bars there. The prime rib was off the chain. Mario, I saw you. I think I saw you up there by that prime rib. Wasn't that you up there with your plate there waiting on the man to finish carving that prime rib for you?
No, it was looking good, but I wasn't up there.
Oh, I thought you had a setback, man. You know, you just had a setback, man, for your vegan meals, man. I could have sworn that was you by that chef was carving that fine piece of prime rib for you up there last Sunday afternoon.
It looked good, but no, I didn't participate in the prime rib, sir.
Oh, I sure did, man. I know I got down, man. I got seriously down, man. I'm working it off there. I got back home. I had to get to the gym the last couple of days to start working some of that off because that was a great time. And also, if you listened last Sunday, last Friday, Saturday, to us, and even Sunday morning, I told you take Dallas over Washington, and I also talked about Denver. Denver would cover that 7-point spread against Detroit. They blew Denver blew Detroit out 31-10, paying homage to Demarius, the young man that passed away. They played homage to him last Sunday afternoon. I said Denver would cover.
Thomas, yeah.
Thank you, Demarius Thomas. They paid homage to him, and Dallas beat Washington by more than 4 points. That would have gave you that. Hey, I gave you some great picks this last week. Hope you cashed in on them like I did, and some of the rest of us did last week. Now it's time for you to cash in this week. Let's get it on, Mighty Over. Let's get the people winning and get them off to the races for this week.
All right. Before we get started, just to let everybody know, because of COVID-19 outbreaks, the NFL has moved 3 games. Las Vegas at Cleveland has moved from Saturday to Monday. Also, Seattle and Los Angeles Rams has been moved to Monday, and Washington and Philadelphia, they are going to play on Tuesday. I'm sorry, Seattle and the Los Angeles Rams will play on Tuesday. So those are the 3 games so far that have been affected by COVID-19, but we're going to stay in order that we have regardless of those movements. So you ready to get it in?
Let's get it in.
Let's get it in. Cleveland and Las Vegas is up top. What do you think? Cleveland could have up to 20 players out if they don't clear COVID protocols by Monday.
Yeah, right now that game is off the board. Vegas is not even taking that game serious anymore. It just went off the board a couple of hours ago as we're taping this show. Right now, you got to wait and see if that game is played, if that game is even played. Because when they take it off the board, a lot of times those games aren't even played, or they put something up at the last minute when they see that game is going to be played. But Cleveland has almost 25 people that's not available to play. So that's going to be tough for that game to be played. And if it's played, take the Raiders in this if it's a point spread, if they even allow this game to take place. I would take the Raiders under 40. It'll probably be bad weather in Cleveland Monday evening, Monday afternoon, whenever they play this game. Under 40 and take the Raiders with whatever, if it's a pick 'em or if the Raiders are getting points. Or the Raiders will be favored because I don't see how Cleveland can really. They haven't even practiced. They haven't even had one practice this week. So it's really looking doubtful for that game and looking doubtful for Cleveland, who really need the game because they're in the playoff race. Take the Raiders if this game is played.
All right. The Saturday game that is still on schedule to be played is New England and Indianapolis. This is a game that has serious playoff implications. New England is in a battle for the #1 seed with Kansas City and Tennessee. How do you see this game, New England and Indianapolis?
Very good contest coming up. I see right now the Colts are at home. They're a slight favorite at home. New England was the early favorite in this game. People still picking New England to win this one. Take the Colts. I think the Colts need this game a little more. And you can see that Mac Jones has a lot of deficiencies that they've been covering up there in New England. I think they'll be able to stop the run, the Indianapolis defense, and force him to throw and see if he can light them up, which I don't think so. I think he's going to have trouble, especially with the pass rush. Buckner and those guys. Leonard is still injured for the Colts, but I see the Colts coming out. Look for this game to be under 44 and the Indianapolis Colts winning this by 3 points. Take the Colts in this game.
All right, next game up. This is a COVID-affected game, Philadelphia and Washington. This game has been moved to Tuesday. How do you see this game?
I see this game on Tuesday being played. It should be a good contest. Should be a good contest on Tuesday. And we're seeing just having a little technical difficulty with something there blocking the screen there. But still, repeat that once again, Mario, on these two teams.
We have Washington and Philadelphia. This game is moved to Tuesday. How do you see this game?
I see Philadelphia winning this one on Tuesday. The Eagles now, if that game is played on Tuesday, they'll have 3 games in 12 days, which is not fair to them. It's not fair to that organization. They're playing well, but this is what happens in a COVID year. You got COVID affecting everything. Philly will have 3 games in 12 days if they are played. I take Philly in this one against Washington. Washington just can't score enough points to beat anybody. They barely, if you got to have almost no offense to lose to them. Take Philadelphia Eagles to cover that spread and under 42 points. Definitely under 42. I would really play the under because Washington just doesn't score that many. They score under 20 points almost every week. So you get guaranteed to get around 14 to 17 points for Washington, and Philly may have 20. So what's that? That comes out to be a 20 and 17, 37-point score, which is under that 42. Take Philadelphia outright or take the under.
All right, next game up. Buffalo and Carolina. Carolina comes to cold Buffalo. Buffalo has had, they're not making headlines, but as you well know, we cover the Bills on a daily basis. They've had a little COVID outbreak here for a number of weeks. They haven't had any games change, but how do you see this game, Carolina coming into Buffalo this Sunday?
I see Carolina coming in here Sunday. They're going to bring a running game. They're going to bring a running game. They're going to come to play ball. I tell you what, they have a good defensive front with Derek Brown, Mike Chen, the safety Mike Chen, the defensive tackle Derek Brown out of Auburn, the number 7 pick overall last year. They got a defensive front, and guess what? They know the Bills can't stop the run. What they're going to do, they're going to run the ball, and they're going to run the ball, and they're going to run the ball. This is an excellent game. Take the 12.5 points of the Carolina Panthers. Buffalo should win this game. They better win this game. But take Carolina Panthers with the points in this contest.
All right, Carolina Panthers with the points. All right, next game up, AFC East opponents going at it. The Miami Dolphins, who have been pretty hot, against the lukewarm New York Jets, who just have not gotten it together this year.
Yes. Oh, New York Jets just haven't getting rid of it yet. This is another one for Miami. Take Miami to win this one outright. Miami's doing what? Well, they got Waddle. Waddle's in the protocol right now. That's the favorite receiver of Tua Tagovailoa. Uh, but Tua should do well. The defense is playing much inspired football. Hey, they only a game behind the Bills all of a sudden. They were like 4 or 5 games back a while ago. Now with the Bills losing 5 of the last 7, everybody, all the also rans are back in the pack. They feeling good. Look for the Dolphins to cover this by 10, under 40. Take under 40 in this contest. Dolphins to win.
Dolphins to win. Man, that's unbelievable. The Bills have slipped back to the pack, and it has really caught up with them in some must-win games coming up. All right, next game up, Dallas and the New York Giants. This has playoff implications for the Dallas Cowboys. New York Giants aren't going anywhere anytime soon other than the draft board, but the Dallas Cowboys have done quite well. They're in the midst of a playoff race.
Oh, they definitely in the playoff race, and the Cowboys against the boy. The Cowboys lucky to be in a weak division. Cowboys are the Giants. They're another team. I just mentioned the New York Jets. Boy, the New York Jets and New York Giants, both of the so-called big-time New York teams, they can't put points on the board. They can't get under. They're under 20 points. Usually average 17, 14. The Giants, they're averaging like 10. They couldn't even run in reverse properly last week. Cowboys will keep them on. They'll play down to their competition, and eventually the Cowboys will blow them out. The Cowboys will win by more than 11. Take the Cowboys. Take this under 43. Take the Cowboys to win by 12 or more in this contest.
All right, a big-time game with some serious playoff implications. It's an NFC-AFC game, but both teams are vying for playoff positioning. Green Bay and the Baltimore Ravens, they've got some problems. They might be without Lamar Jackson, but the Green Bay Packers have been going right along, even with their great quarterback's COVID toe. He has a COVID toe problem, Aaron Rodgers, and he's also lied a little bit this year, but his team is 10-3, and the Baltimore Ravens are falling back in the pack at 8-5, but they're still in the playoff hunt.
Yes, injuries have really decimated the Baltimore Ravens this year. Now I mentioned it last week when we were picking it. I said buyer beware last week, and notice that Cleveland Baltimore game was a push. So no matter which team you bet on last week, you didn't win last week with that game. That's why I don't like taking Cleveland in games, because Cleveland just don't do well with the betting line. But this week, Green Bay playing at Baltimore. Baltimore is just injuries. They just can't hardly field a good team due to injuries. Green Bay should win this, cover this spread with or without Lamar Jackson. The backup Walker, he's playing pretty well. That young man out of Utah State, he's doing a very good job. He'll keep him in the game, but I think eventually Green Bay will pull away and win this by 7 or 10 points. Take Green Bay with this game being under 43, because I can't see the Ravens keeping up scoring-wise with the Green Bay Packers.
One question, what has happened to the Ravens defense? If anything could be wrong with them, I know they've got injuries. You always could count on the Ravens playing tough defense. This tough defense has really been riddled this year.
Yes, it's been riddled. The both starting cornerbacks are gone. Jason is gone from one. Jason Peters on one side, and then you lost on the other side.
Oh, you mean Marcus Peters?
Marcus, thank you, Marcus Peters. Yes,
sir.
And they just lost the other Marlon Humphreys last week to a torn pectoral muscle. So both of those guys are gone. They have the serious injuries there. So those guys are out. The defensive line front, they have a lot of injuries on the line. I see them. They're competing, but it's just too many injuries. Too many injuries to compete. Take Green Bay to win this one outright, even though it's in Baltimore. Take Green Bay to cover that 6 or 7 point spread.
All right, next game up. This is a big-time AFC contest. The Pittsburgh Steelers, who are still into this, playoff race with 6-6-1 record will be taking on the Tennessee team, which is vying for the number one playoff position. How do you see this game?
I see this as a good contest. This might be one of the better games of the day. Pittsburgh and Tennessee. It's a pick'em game. I would take the Steelers in this one. The Steelers are coming back, but you have injury-laden team with the Tennessee Titans. Corey Davis, Julio Jones, and Corey Davis both are injured. We know about Derrick Henry being out. They're just not the same Tennessee Titan team. They have so many injuries on their team right now. Take the Steelers. The Steelers are playing lukewarm ball, but look at them. They're playing possum. 6-6-1. They made money over. They got a good chance to win this division.
They really are right in the middle of this. They're only one game out of the division lead, and it's like there's only one game separating the entire division.
Yeah.
So they could very well win this division when it's all said and done. The Pittsburgh Steelers, who nobody thought was going anywhere anytime soon, with Ben Roethlisberger as the quarterback, are still in this.
But Big Ben has flashes of greatness every now and then. If you keep the Steelers in the game, hey, Big Ben is all it takes is one series for him to get itself correct, get the ball down the field. And you're right, I do see a lot of Josh Allen in this guy, in Ben Roethlisberger. But the difference is Big Ben can read a defense. He can read where the corners are. He's more of a cerebral guy. He's not just a big guy that can run with the ball or can throw the ball. He's a big guy that knows what the defense is in 9 times out of 10, and sometimes he just can't physically now get the ball to him. But I tell you what, if they got momentum and the way they played last week and was coming back, those guys can put some points on the board. They have some talented wide receivers. They're healthier than the Tennessee Titans right now. Take the Steelers to win this under 40, the under 40, and take the Steelers to win this pick'em game.
That's a big-time AFC contest with some serious playoff implications. And Pittsburgh and Tennessee are just right in the middle of this playoff hunt. The entire AFC Central is still vying for the division. It's unbelievable how this is all panned out towards the end of the season, with only one game separating the entire division. So this is a big-time contest. Radman has picked the Pittsburgh Steelers. And you said the points, the under or over, did you say?
Under 40.
Radman?
Under 40.
Under 40.
This is one of my pick of the week. Take the Steelers outright. I'm not guaranteeing it, but I'm almost certain. This is one of my drop picks, my top picks of the week. Take the Steelers to defeat the Tennessee Titans and cover it. Right now, it looks like -2. Take the Steelers to win this one. I'm not guaranteeing, but I'm getting close as I can to guarantee the Steelers will win this contest.
All right, big-time game, Pittsburgh and Tennessee. Next game up, Houston and Jacksonville, two teams that are vying for draft positioning, with Urban Meyer kicked out the door for being an unqualified head coach at the NFL level. How do you see this very interesting contest?
That unqualified, he may go down in history as the worst NFL head coach of all time. I mean, the kicker player, allegedly kicker player, calling all kinds of names. The first thing he did was go get the most racist strength and conditioning coach he could find, the guy that they had to fire at the University of Iowa. And you're going to try to, I mean, think about it. His first move was bringing a guy that was fired for treating black young men wrong at the University of Iowa, and the school had to get rid of the guy. And they said that, and they in their reason for firing him, his racist acts against young black men. And the first thing you do is go get this guy to be your strength and conditioning coach? Man, if I'm the owner, I'll come down. Yo, hold up, man. What's wrong with you? We would have had it. We would have had it out. He should have been fired right just for making that dumb decision. And then he done had 5 or 6 more since then. This is unbelievable that this guy would even get a shot. And now you're hearing names about Jim Caldwell. What was Jim Caldwell's name before they hired this idiot? Now you
should have hired Jim Caldwell from the get-go. Jim Caldwell should have been hired long before an Urban Meyer, long before a lot of these guys. This guy's been a winner the entire time in the NFL, helped a team win a Super Bowl, almost went undefeated one year and almost won another Super Bowl. Are you kidding me? He should have a job. Detroit fired him with a winning record at 10-6. Only black coaches seem to get fired with winning records.
Yeah.
Urban Meyer should have never been hired.
No, he should have never been hired, and I think you're going to see why he never should have been hired on Sunday when the Jacksonville Jaguars will probably blow out the Houston Texans. Take the Jags. This is my other pick of the week. Take the Jags to win this game outright. It's a pick 'em game. Take the Jags to win by 3 or more, and I think they're going to win by 10 or more. Really, now.
Who's the interim coach?
Beauville.
Okay.
Beauville used to be with the Seattle. He was in Seattle. Bevel. Thank you.
That's the guy that lost the Super Bowl.
Yeah, the guy. How's he still in the league? Man, come on, man.
I forgot
know.
About this. He lost that Super Bowl. Play, man. Should have given the ball to Marshawn Lynch.
He's the same guy that didn't want Marshawn Lynch to be the MVP of the game. Him and Pete Carroll. Because, him and Pete Carroll are responsible for that Super Bowl loss to the Patriots. They should have won that. Should have won back-to-back Super Bowls. That would have been great for Seattle. The town, nice people. They deserved a lot more than what they got from Bevel and Pete Carroll. And ever since then, it's been downhill ever since.
Absolutely.
But Bevel will have his day Sunday. They'll beat a Houston Texas team that's still getting rid of players. Here is week 15. They still releasing guys. It's like, come on, man. The NFL need to speak to them about this. I don't know what who they want to draft. So we don't see that many quarterbacks. Who you guys want to gut your team so bad that you can get the top pick? Who is it that y'all looking at? That's what I want to know. So
teams that do that, you're rolling the dice. There's so much talent that team had, and you've run most of them out the door. You cannot replace that talent in one draft, and you're really rolling the dice on how good you're going to be the next few years. It's not fair to your new head coach, Cuffy, I think is his name. He seems to be a very nice gentleman, waited a long time for his opportunity, but unfortunately, he took a job in a place where they've been gutting the team. So this is not a good situation for him. I really feel bad for him. We were in the locker room when they lost to the Bills, and I think he's a very qualified guy, very nice guy, but this is not a great opportunity for anybody to be a head coach.
No, not a nice opportunity at all. And the key is, I wonder will they keep him for next year when they start to rebuild this team?
Right.
What do you think,
be given a fair? They don't seem to give black head coaches an opportunity to build teams, whereas white coaches are still given an opportunity to build and rebuild teams the way they want to. Look at what Sean McDermott did. He gutted the team here. A team that had a lot of talent. He was given an opportunity not only to rebuild the team, but to put it the way they wanted to, and then he was given an extension. Whereas black coaches are not given that same opportunity, and this is a major problem in the NFL and has been for a long time.
And continues to be one until reckoning day is coming, because these coaches, for him cutting up the way he cut up, taking lap dance. He didn't even fly back with his team, man. What kind of coach is that? Don't even fly back. Team lose the game. You don't even fly back, man. Y'all go ahead on, man. I got some business to handle. He all up at his own bar. Got some young girls lap dancing and doing lap dances and all kinds of stuff on them. How you think about this, man? This is almost like a movie, man. Don't even sound real. But that's what this clown did, and he still had a job. He still had a job. Still had a job.
And you have a list of qualified candidates that are black that is more than 27 deep that should be head coach prospects all over the league, and they have not been given opportunities. And that includes Eric Bieniemy, Jim Caldwell, Lovie Smith, who's the defensive coordinator for the Houston Texans. He was not given an opportunity to rebuild the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. It's just absolutely ridiculous on how black coaches are still being treated. But let's keep it moving. You picked Jacksonville.
Jacksonville in a blowout. I think Jacksonville, the players are going to play. They're glad to have this idiot gone, and they're going to show, and they're going to take it out on the Texans, who they played on opening day, and the Texans beat them on opening day. So I think Jacksonville say, hey, this is time. They're the better team. I think this. If you got a blowout, I think this will be a blowout.
All right, Arizona, Detroit. Detroit's vying for draft position. Arizona's in the thick of trying to get home field advantage. How do you see this? And the division.
In the division title, Arizona. DeAndre Hopkins had surgery. He might be season-ending surgery. They're hoping he can come back in the playoffs. That's rolling the dice. You knew something was wrong with that knee. He went back in the game a few weeks ago, and you could just tell it just wasn't himself with that knee problem. Take Arizona to win the game, but I like the 14 points. I like Detroit at home with getting 14 points. I don't think they're laying down. I think Detroit will play a much better game this week because they went out to Denver, and that was an emotional game for Denver, losing one of their former players. Emotional weekend there. Teddy Bridgewater is playing very well, Mighty O, but they're not giving him a lot of. And they just say that quarterback in Denver. They don't even respect the man and give him. Don't even say his full name on some of these shows that I'm listening to. It's just ridiculous. But in this case, I think the ankle injury. I think it's a high ankle sprain to Kyler Murray. He's not himself. He doesn't have the escapability right now that showed up against the Rams when Darnold and those guys came at him. I think Detroit has enough to come at him, keep the game close, take Detroit into 14, and I see this game being under 40. No, I think this game will be under 46. Under 46 with the Lions with 14 points.
All right, next game up is San Francisco, Atlanta. This game has some serious playoff implications also. San Francisco and Atlanta are still in the thick of this hunt.
That's right. You got some interesting teams, some sorry teams still who are now getting good and getting confident. The Falcons getting the 9 points at San Francisco. Atlanta just seems to keep losing players each week to injury. But they're still hanging in there. I like the 49ers to win this game, but I like the Falcons. I like this game close. Take the Falcons in the 9, and I think it'll be over 51. I think this is an over game. I think both teams will put a lot of points on the board with the 49ers winning this game in a shootout over 51. Take the 9 points with the Falcons.
All right, next game up, Cincinnati and Denver. Just talking about them. Cincinnati and Denver right in the thick of the AFC playoff hunt. Both teams started off a little slow, but both teams are still right in the middle of this.
Yes, they're both right in the middle of this thing. Very good teams. Cincinnati got to go out the mile high. Cincinnati reminds me of the LA Chargers. They're a good young team, but they just haven't figured out how to win, how to close games out yet. And I think it looks like it's going to take another year for the Cincinnati Bengals to learn how to close games out, just like the LA Chargers got to figure out how to close games out as well. And this one, I like Denver at home because they're home. It's a pick'em game. Take Denver in this contest, and I like it over 48 because since both of these teams will put points on the board, I think it'll be over that 48. But take Denver at home over 48.
All right, another big game, LA Rams against Seattle. Seattle's about out of it, but the Rams are vying for the division and possible playoff positioning. How do you see this game?
This game was one of the games that's moved. The Rams have almost over 20 people with COVID. They're fighting COVID. They have a serious COVID outbreak with the Rams. I see Seattle with this one. If Seattle with 7 at the Rams, Seattle may not win this one, but they take the 7 points because one thing about COVID, which they don't really, they just say these guys got COVID and they come back in 10 days or they pass their tests and come back. These guys do not have stamina. Their stamina is gone due to the COVID. When they have COVID, it seems. COVID seems to affect your respiratory system. You can't breathe as well. And then when you're out there trying to exert yourself, doing energy, playing sports, you have a hard time exerting yourself. Due to the COVID outbreak on the Rams, I'm taking the Seattle Seahawks plus the 7, and they're not playing that game until Tuesday night. I think that gives Seattle a little bit more time to rest up, get themselves together, and Seattle can be a spoiler and hurt the Rams' chances. Take Seattle under 46 in this contest. Under 46 in the Seattle Seahawks plus 7.
All right, next game up, Tampa, New Orleans. New Orleans is still reeling. Tampa is vying for home field advantage. How do you see it?
Once again, Sean Payton has contracted COVID-19. He's out, so he won't be coaching like he did last year. He missed the game last year. He's going to miss this game. Dennis Allen will be coaching the team, the defensive coordinator, who right now is the better coach right now because the defense has been doing their thing. It's a rivalry game. Remember I told you last time Tampa Bay was favored by 7, and I told you my pick of the week was the Saints. Take the 7 points last time. The Saints won that game. They won't win this one, but take the 11 points. I think New Orleans Saints will keep this game close. I think this game will be over 50, take over 50, but I think the Saints will keep this game close enough. And Tom Brady, you saw what they did with the 24-3 lead last week. They allowed the Bills to come back in that second half. The Bills did make a quality adjustments. They started passing out of the running formations, and they confused the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. But they won't be. These two teams are hated rivals. The Saints won't take a butt whooping from these guys, but they will lose this game. Tampa Bay will win it. Take the Saints plus 11.
All right, the final game is Chicago, Minnesota. How do you see this game?
I see this one Monday night. It's just new. If you got something else to do, do it. Take care of your Christmas, wrap your gifts and everything. Get your tree up. Do your other gifts and things of that nature. This should be a snore fest. Chicago at Minnesota. Minnesota is a pick'em game. Take Minnesota to win this one. Minnesota -3. Take the Vikings to win it. And this game will probably be over 48 because both teams are now putting points on the board. And the Vikings love to play down to their competition. Take over 48 in the Vikings.
All right. Hey, that's all of our games here on Pro Talk Plus, the Winner's Edge. Woo! It has been a pleasure. Week 15 is about over. Serious contest. Follow the Rad Man's advice, and you will win yourself some money. I want to thank Onstage Plus and our producers for putting up another great program, Pro Talk Plus, the Winner's Edge. We'll catch you next week.